Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. A funny thought that I've had is, are we organic? We're creatures, right, of this planet. And I was thinking we're like a cauliflower or a carrot or a whale or a dog. We are creatures here. And I was thinking about the population of humans, of Homo sapiens, increasing upon our planet and wondering about this conceptually, that there is an increase of souls, of hearts, of minds. And how is this so? It's a good question for oneself. Obviously, it's going on and it's working. And then I thought to myself, well, are we organic? Is a human being an organic creature? And I wonder what the answer is, what it means to be organic. I'm sure many of you know more than I do. So I suggest this thought, as trivial or as important as it is. I do think that we have a responsibility to this world as being sentient creatures and seemingly having an advantage over most of the other life, if not all of the other life that lives on this big orb of water and air, but mostly just dirt, earth, stone, molten rock. And yes, we have a responsibility, in my mind, in my humble opinion. How well are we facilitating a sense of responsibility? I'm not sure. My first thought is that we do better and worse. It changes. Sometimes we do a great job. Sometimes we do poorly. I think inherent within each of us also is being that we live in societies, in a world society, in cultural societies, in countries with their own traditions, with their own peculiarities, and their own spiritual traditions. That there is a great deal of variation, and yet there is also a great deal of similarity. We need, each of us, consider to recognize the 10 Commandments, or the 11 Commandments, or the spiritual laws and traditions that seem to be in harmony with all people, rather than just a segment or of a particular tradition. Because it doesn't make sense that there is only one path that is worthy of consideration when there have been so many. Before the advent of all of today's religions, let's say 10,000 years ago, does it mean that all life before the, in quote, religion that is the best, or the one that is God created, that all others of mankind from prior to this, and those that also today practice their own unique form of spiritual tradition, are unworthy or ignorant or don't have a place at the table? I think common sense says that it's not necessarily true. It is a means of furthering one's own effort, or one group's own effort. I think this is what you've seen over time. If you go back to the original documentation of what prophets and great spiritual leaders have suggested, it is a sense of cohesiveness, of camaraderie, of cooperation, of peoples and traditions that is what holds sway in their thoughts. That they speak of godliness, for instance, one's spirituality, as being inside, of being shared, not by a few, but by all, regardless of what their tradition is. I agree with this. It only makes sense. It's common sense. And I implore those who are more rigid in their thinking to consider what you have been taught, what you have read, and just use common sense. It may appear that the world is flat from one perspective. When you look upon the distance, the horizon, there is a fine line. And yet, as you continue to walk towards it, it keeps changing. It keeps increasing. If you are lucky enough to be able to rise in the air in a plane or a balloon or a glider, and you travel up high in the air, then you also will see a difference in the horizon. If you travel towards it, you will see that what you thought was the horizon actually is just as far as your eye sees. And it keeps changing. If you travel in space, as mankind has been more recently doing, then even more so you can see that there is a circumference, there is a roundness to the world we live upon. It is perspective that I'm sharing with you. I'm not telling you what to think is right or wrong. I'm just saying there are many perspectives. There are many views. Mindfulness and meditation are tools of perception, of perspective, right? Sensitivity, reflection, receptivity. You see, here then we begin to have a greater sense of possibilities. This is mindfulness. This is the goal of meditation and mindfulness. Self-realization, self-illumination, self-awareness. Finding ourselves in comfortable seats, undisturbed. Humbly, I ask you to reflect with me that we are all bundles of miracles. The DNA in our veins, in our cells, hundreds of millions, if not over 1 billion years old. You and I. This is what we share. Every human being, for that matter, all things, even a rock, even a plant, even a bird in the air, or a fish in the sea. Are we not all products similarly fashioned in evolution? We are a bundle of miracles, here, now, aware, rising in our own sense of awareness, awakening to our day, to our moments as they stream and flow. in the sea of life, in the sea of all of creation, of which we are a part. Remembering 14 billion years ago, in our time, the way we measure time in years and days, because of the traveling, the transit of our world around our sun, all those particular attributes within this solar system, we have fashioned a sense of time. Revolution of our planet. There's a myriad of things going on, yes. So, changing, and everything is changing. That we are yet still part of this miracle, of this unfathomable and inconceivable structure that we call our universe. Point being is that we are all energy. We are energy that has been folded and manipulated and twisted and turned and opened and closed and changed in an infinite number of ways. This is evolution. This could be a definition of evolution. And each of us, everything, is a result of this from 14 or so billion years ago. Take it to heart. Consider it regularly, that you might help gain a sense of humility within your own being, humbled by the immensity of creation. It goes from the grandest of pictures coming from the Hubble Space Telescope to your fingernail. It is the same. It is energy. To the tip of your nose, to the farthest galaxy. It is the same again. Time and space. It is all joined together as one. When people speak of the oneness, this is what they're talking about. So begin thinking on your own about what this means. The whole universe is united in points of energy. You are a point of energy. You're not sure of that because if you're not thinking. I don't mean to be mean or rude. You are generating energy as we speak, as we hear, as we share. Think about this a little bit all day from time to time. This is meditation and mindfulness, to be aware. God bless you. It's enough time already. It's over 14 minutes. You have a nice day. God bless you. And when I say God to bless you, I mean the God inside of yourself, your godliness, your uniqueness in this whole universe, your awareness. You're seeking to seed in oneself, in one's heart and one's soul, virtue, good characteristics, to uphold our natural laws and your own sense and desire for self-improvement. This is what I mean. It is not a prayer. It is a self-affirmation. It is being here now. A miracle, humble, and thankful for an opportunity just to be alive. Namaste.